Hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. This is the inaugural edition of my own little ASMR thing, because if no one else will hire me, then fuck it, I'll hire myself. Thanks to YouTube. Um, I'm going to read some posts from hashtag content. Weed, home of the jacked boys. Weed. 2:11 p.m. Mice Nerd says, fuck 'em up, llama. 2:11 p.m. Llama says, duh, yeah, 81 degrees is so much different to 82. This is necessary. And then Grayman and Mice Nerd reacted with a gun, and then a 100 emoji. At 2:33, Cora says, it kinda is. And 81 is basically 4 stars on that system. It's pretty hot, but not that unpleasant. Easy peasy. A mere child could grasp this. Neisnert says, yeah, because it's a childish system. At 3:15 p.m., Eurythmia replies, well, maybe we shouldn't gatekeep weather from children. Meissner replies, my stance is basically that Hagenheit only seems to be measured by fives anyways. 76 to 77 is nothing. As an editorial comment, I'll just note that Meissner is correct, and 80 to 84 doesn't really count. 80 to 5, that counts. At 3:38 p.m., Cora says, in response to Meissner's comment, no, it isn't. 76 is a little hot, but not really. 77 is a bit hotter than that. Granularity isn't really the point anyways. You could list something 33.5 Celsius and create the same effect. The point is that under Fahrenheit, the weather is literally a scale from 0 to 100, except in extreme places. At 3:42 p.m., Bori says, it's why 69 is the perfect temperature. Jimmy's, in quote marks, says, Ernest Borgnine is right. Bori says, shit. Grayman agrees. 69 Celsius is really hot. Says, hell yeah, it is. That was at 4:56 p.m. It's now 7:11 p.m. by my watch. I prefer Circle K p.m. But really, it's all the same. Actually, 7-Eleven is probably a lot better. They have more variety in their snacky bullshit. Let's go see what's going on in politics. Meissner says, what about Google? And fuck these games. Looks like we're talking about Final Fantasy 12. At 6:53 p.m., Kolchak says, Vaughn's tiny vest is hilarious. Fairy says, twink boys in 2/3 of an outfit. Kolchak, you're running around in an icy wasteland. It's like, are you sure you don't want to put a coat on? Fairy says, that missing third is taken from all over the place, 5/6 of a belt. Cora reports that she still loves Final Fantasy X clothes. Jack posts https://gfycat.com/it mired, zesty hermit crab. If you punch this into your web browser, you'll get a brief gif of a man in a cup noodle outfit standing in a wrestling ring. Could be a boxing ring, but wrestling has looser dress codes. Cora starts talking about Lulu. Kolchak asks the heavy question. The people who stream to nobody, why do they want to stream to begin with? Lonely and looking to talk to people? Is broadcasting yourself playing Dark Souls the new calling a sex line? Silly lit horror. They're charmingly silly. Maybe it's the new ham radio. Scream into nothingness. Cora says, like, tell me this isn't a 90s kid in an alternate timeline. And then she posts an image that I'm not going to click right now. Fairy says, but you don't need to pass the government tests. Regarding his ham radio comment, Kolchak believes that Titus's bad fashion is especially bad because it's a product of its time, in addition to being horrendous. Cora says this is amazing, and Gray Man can see him screaming Limp Bizkit, especially when juxtaposed against Yuna's on-point fashion, says Cora. I do think Yuna looked nice. But none of these guys and girls know how much damage enhanced Titus can do in Final Fantasy Brave Exvius, so they don't know what they're talking about. Titus is way better. Yuna is also strong. Kolchak posts an image of a Yoshitaka Wamano drawing. Cora says Yuna's all sophisticated and Titus is bringing that to the table. Kolchak says animeifying her takes away the watercolor look by MHO. It's taking away the distinctiveness. Cora, as a video game reactionary, states, all of the modern game shit is a disaster. I'll always defend 10 and 10-2 as extremely underrated games. John chimes in and says, it's kind of weird to me that Square never contracted Vanillaware to, help us make a Final Fantasy game that looks like the concept art. Right? Says Cora. John continues, I mean, Final Fantasy games are probably an order of magnitude longer and more complex than most Vanillaware games, but come on. Cora thinks a Final Fantasy IV game in a mono style would be fucking amazing. Kolchak just found out that Rosa's name is Rosa Joanna Farrell, which is funny. What? So the horror, aka Fairy, thinks that Vanillaware is so pretty, and I think I will have to go look up Vanillaware to find out what they did. John thinks they can afford it. Kolchak says, Rosa is the IT director for a nonprofit in Cambridge, Massachusetts, apparently. Cora laughs, as I did. Moose posts a 5.5 megabyte picture of an elf from that one really grotesque fucking PlayStation 4 game. With the witch, and it's a beat 'em up, and it's bad. Titties. Jack wants to know, what you doing on that branch? John posts a squash banana thing. Jack laughs. Gregor wants to know, is that a Half-Life 1 scientist scream? Moose posts a link to a YouTube page that I won't click because it hasn't embedded and I'm scared. Back in content, Bori says, I'm so full of crab. Kolchak and Bori both reply to this with crab. Down the drove, and Eurythmia wonders, do you have to wear the whole spandex suit? Couldn't you just wear the mask and gloves? Or is it like, people you're not committed to and people you just... Um, vegan BDSM equipment? I laughed. Gamer come.